This past year in 2025 has been a big year for the horror genre. I've seen several good films and some that weren't really that great, but I saw one of them that really got well received, and that was Weapons, which came out this past August and is now available on physical media and streaming on HBO Max. But is this recent supernatural mystery horror flick as good as the critics say it is to scare y'all out of your wits? Or is this one not worthy enough to be fully loaded with enough jump scares or whatever else you can get from horror? Find out in this spoiler free review right now. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a spoiler free review of the 2025 supernatural mystery horror flick Weapons, released by New Line Cinema, distributed by Warner Brothers, directed, written, produced, and co scored by Zach Cregger. Starring an ensemble cast that includes Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Alden Ehrenreich, Austin Abrams, Cary Christopher, Toby Huss, Benedict, Wong, and Amy Madigan. The film's plot follows the case of 17 children from the same classroom who mysteriously ran away on the same night at the same time. Since its release on August 8th of this year in 2025, it became such a big hit for horror and eventually another big winner for Warner Brothers. So let's get started. In Maybrook, Pennsylvania, 17 children from a single third grade class suddenly run from their homes at 2:17 a.m. and disappear. Only one student, Alex Lilly, remains. Their teacher, Justine Gandy, is placed on leave amid suspicion that she's responsible for the disappearances. Now, the film is presented in a nonlinear narrative with chapters for various characters whose stories intersect. Now, a paranoid, ostracized Justine relapses into alcoholism, concerned for Alex's well being. Justine follows him home, where she notices his window covered with newspaper and spots his parents sitting motionless in the dark. She implores Principal Marcus Miller to perform a wellness check while watching Alex's house. Justine drunkenly falls asleep in her car. An unseen individual enters the car and cuts off a lock of Justine's hair. And meanwhile, Archer Graff, the father of missing child Matthew, begins his own investigation, frustrated with the police's lack of progress. After reviewing smart doorbell footage of Matthew and another child, he notices that their running paths converge, but cannot pinpoint their exact destination. Well, we continue focusing on other characters, including Paul Morgan, Justine's ex-boyfriend. Let's see. And James, a vagrant drug addict. And several others. But believe me, I'm really not going to give you this whole story because this is a spoiler free review. If you really want to see what happens, well, you'll find out that I'll only give you one heads up that that witchcraft is actually involved in this. Someone who is a witch is behind this whole thing. I won't tell you who it is. If you want to know, watch the movie, okay? Now, for my thoughts on Weapons, I've got to say this was a real masterpiece of a horror masterpiece of a fright fest itself. A real terror tale of a fright fest, that is. I have to admit, this proved to be another big hit, becoming which eventually came out on top for Warner Brothers with a 43.5 million opening. which gave Warner Bros. The first deal in their history to have 6 consecutive films in a row to open at #1 with more than 40 million. Of course, the other films included Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, a Minecraft movie, and of course, recently before this, Superman, and others. The film was such a monster hit, making 267.5 million worldwide on its $38 million budget, and eventually easily beat out the 45 million opening of the film that put Mr. Cregger on the map, Barbarian, a few years back. The film's reviews were very good, and it got good reviews just like Sinners and Final Destination Bloodlines did. It sits at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, where they say Zach Cregger spins an expertly crafted yarn of terrifying mystery and thrilling intrigue in the film, a sophomore triumph that solidifies his status as a master of horror. Metacritic has a score of 81. Audiences polled by CinemaScore give it an A minus, while those surveyed by PostTrack gave it an average 4 out of 5 stars, with 65% saying that they would definitely recommend it. Empire's John Nugent gave this a perfect 5 out of 5, saying the entire film, in fact, is something that shouldn't work but does. Can a film about missing children and grief be called a crowd pleaser? In Zach Cregger's hands, it feels almost effortless. Brian Tallarico of RogerEbert.com gave it 3.5 out of 4, deeming the film a superior follow up to Barbarian, stating one of the greatest strengths of Cregger's ambitious script is its abject refusal to connect every dot in the manner that so much elevated horror has done in recent years. Still, it's not overly difficult to read the inciting incident of the film as a school shooting allegory. Incredible, huh? Oh man, the list goes on and on. IGN gave us a 9 out of 10, saying the film is a righteous, fully actualized genre bender in which writer-director Zach Cregger hones Barbarian's blend of unbearable tension and dark humor to a new level of razor sharpness. Mark Handy of the Associated Press gave this 4.5 out of 5, saying if Barbarian came out of left field 3 years ago and heralded an exciting new voice in filmmaking, this film doesn't disappoint, but it doesn't have the advantage of surprise. Well, that's understandable and why have you. And I must say, it was really a good Fright Fest. I mean, this kind of shocked me just a little bit. It didn't scare me completely much, but hey, I don't scare that easily though. But boy, something kind of was freaky and what have you. But however, I give Zach Cregger credit for what he had to do. I mean, as much as I did like Barbarian, but this surpasses in many ways. I mean, it was just so incredible. Of course, this was the second film of his come out this year, even though, aside from Companion, which was another film from New Line, but however, he was just the producer of the film. This was his first directorial film since Barbarian 3 years ago. Now, of course, next up, he's working on a brand new Resident Evil film. Now, I hope for the best that turns out to be good, considering they've had a bit of issues with a previous reboot and the TV series on Netflix. Nevertheless, Cregger does a good job with everything. The direction, the story, he does a good job in co-producing the film. And even working on the score with Ryan and Hayes Holiday. I've got to give them credit. This was a good score. Additionally, the opening sequence of the film features George Harrison's Beware of Darkness. And the end credits feature the song Under the Porch by the rock band MGMT. Yes. Which this was an act I was not too familiar with, but after hearing that got me introduced to this band. So those songs are pretty good and what have you. I mean, it was good to have a classic from George Harrison, well, he's even though he's no longer hasn't been with us for years. He passed away years back, but well, you get what I'm saying. Now, for our cast, we have Josh Brolin, who does an amazingly good job as Archer. I've got to give him props for what he had to do. I mean, this proved that he's still got it in the horror genre after some time. Playing Justine Gandy is Julia Garner, who this was just released after she had recently played the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four First Steps, which, again, that was another good film. I have to admit, she does a good job in this. Oh, yeah, she was also in the Wolfman reboot, which was released earlier this year, which was alright, but it wasn't great. Alden Ehrenreich plays Paul. I gotta give him credit for his role. Austin Abrams as James Good. Cary Christopher playing Alex, who was good. Toby Huss played Ed, the police captain, and Paul's father-in-law. Now, of course, who of course is a guy who recently did voice acting work for Beavis and Butthead, and he still does it to this day. He was actually well known for starring in Nickelodeon's The Adventures of Pete and Pete for a few seasons, as well as voiced Todd on King of the Hill. He also has appeared on HBO's Carnival and AMC's Halt and Catch Fire as well. Now, Marcus was played by Benedict Wong, who, of course, most people know him from the Doctor Strange films and several films in the MCU. I gotta give him credit. We have Gladys, who's played by Amy Madigan, Alex's elderly aunt. We also even have Sarah Paxton, who I remember that one from Aquamarine, as well as one of the Halloween Town films. She plays Erica, Bailey's mother. And Bailey, of course, one of the missing children, while the dad, Gary, is played by Justin Long, who had appeared in the Jeepers Creepers films and several other films. So you got to admit the cast is really good. I think some of its frightening and terrifying scenes were absolutely superb. To be honest with y'all, I didn't quite find much of anything wrong with Weapons. Sure, I may not have gone to see it due to the fact, well, my mom doesn't really like horror, but I hope y'all understand. That's the reason why. So don't hate me. This is just why I want to wait to stream it or buy it. But I recently watched it on HBO Max when it premiered last week, and I absolutely was blown by it. This film was total mind blowing, going from a different character to another, and then soon managing to connect the dots and what have you to how the whole story turned out to be. So everything said, that Weapons is a very superb horror flick. It has a great cast playing great characters and a great story from Zach Cregger, who also does a great job in co-scoring the film, producing the film, and directing the film. This is easily a horror masterpiece of a terror tale of a fright fest. You get what I'm saying. And I would definitely recommend you see this. Since Halloween's not too far away, this is a film you need to see. For my score, I'm going to give Weapons 5 stars, which of course means on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 10. And can you believe it? This is the third film in a row this year to get a 10 from me. So what did you think of Weapons? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. So I hope you enjoyed this, and please stand by. Sorry about that. Slight emergency occurred. Anyway, so if you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. And next time will be a re-review of Saw 3D, aka Saw the Final Chapter. So if you like this, check out my spoiler-free reviews of the two other films that other horror flicks that got 5 stars from me for this past year in 2025. In the upper left-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of Sinners. The upper right-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of Final Destination Bloodlines. And the bottom left-hand corner, if you'd like something else, check out my spoiler-free review of Zach Cregger's big breakout hit in Barbarian from 2022. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guide. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.